John Connolly here with Mark Mackesy, day 2 of the USA National Team Development Program's visit to New Hope Arena just outside of Minneapolis. I'm here with Mark Mackesy. Today's a snowy one, and it's hot inside, and it's steaming hot on the ice as we've got two high-powered teams today. So, Mark, you're an Upper Midwest High School Elite League board member, and yesterday we saw Team North give the NTDP a great game.
Yeah, they came out yesterday, John. I think they really executed their game plan. They wanted to slow down Team USA through the neutral zone, limit the number of odd man rushes, and get their horses going. All three of those things happened. Unfortunately, they came up a little short. Today, we can kind of expect more of the same. We've got two really talented teams out here. I think the Southwest team is probably the deepest team in the Elite League. They've got horses all over the ice. Hang on to your hat today.
3 goals in less than 3 minutes was the difference maker. There were 3 goals in rapid succession early second period yesterday as the National Team Development Program opened up a 4-1 lead. After that, I felt the Team North did a great job of keeping the scoring chances to a minimum. They found a way to score a few, and they lost just 4-3. Very impressive considering it's basically an all-star team from the Duluth area playing against a team source from all over the United States. Breakout is denied by Sanderson. He comes in with a shot and a nice rebound. Pops over to the corner. Pitlick in pursuit. He fights a battle with Chase Yoder. Brose tips it over in the direction of Olmscheid. Olmscheid tries the breakout pass to the wing to Streeter, but strong forecheck here from the Stars and Stripes keeps the play alive. We have the Team Southwest. They're sponsored by SIT Mutual Funds. They're wearing dark black, going the other direction in the red, white, and blue. Predominant color white for Team USA is the National Team Development Program. So, Mark, you mentioned some of the players on both teams are high-powered. Yesterday for the Stars and Stripes, I was very impressed with Thomas Bordelot.
Yeah, he played great. He really showed up to play. A lot of poise for a young guy, stepping into this environment, new opportunity in front of new folks to demonstrate his abilities.
I had him down for 2 goals. Turns out everybody else, the official game sheet included, had him down for just 1. So I obviously missed something there, but he had a goal and an assist yesterday, looking very good for the Stars and Stripes. Going the other direction, we've got an interesting storyline. We'll talk more about him as the game unfolds. Liam Malmquist is the league's leading scorer, and he's trailed very closely by Rhett Pitlick. Rhett Pitlick wears number 10. Not to mention several players, just a couple points nipping at their heels.
Yeah, they got balanced scoring on 4 lines. Again, this is probably the deepest team in the league, maybe the quickest.
It's interesting. On that rush, I saw Bayless laying back with the defense. You hear about coaches wanting that third man high. I think the operative strategy here for Team Southwest is they want to make sure they do not get caught in transition and give up some odd man rushes. Definite respect for the national team's speed.
Absolutely. Push the pace.
Laval goes into the corner with Bordelot. Bordelot's out with Tuck and Latch. Tuck behind the goal, works it back to the point to Kelly. Kelly surveys the situation, plays over to his line mate Latch. That one goes up over the net. Worth mentioning, there are 2 Latch players, spelled differently but pronounced the same way. Daniel Latch wears 54 for Team USA. He plays defense. He's out of Altoona, Wisconsin, near Eau Claire. And up front, from Twin Lake, Michigan, forward Tanner Latch. He is also committed to the University of Wisconsin. No relation, but 2 players, last name Latch, both committed to the University of Wisconsin. Score right now is 0-0. 0-0 for Team USA against Team Southwest. And early going, I think we see a feeling out period for both teams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, good pace here today. Both teams just being a little bit on the safe side, making sure that they don't give up any odd man rushes.
Short pass hits the skate boot and kicks away. Opportunity for O'Neill to grab this one and work the other direction. O'Neill tries to connect with Lagerbach, but eventually it's just thrown down to the end wall, and they work in pursuit, fighting against Connor Kelly. Kelly, one of the Minnesotans on this team. There is a homecoming of sorts for Connor Kelly, Owen Gallatin, and Brock Faber. Those are 3 players that chose to leave Minnesota to go play in the residency program in Michigan. One of the things we'll talk about throughout today's game is how the players for Team Southwest, they're not held back in any way, shape, or form. Odd man rush here as Lagerbach fights around, tries to get the puck over to Laval, but unable to complete that pass. So, Mark, we'll talk a lot about it throughout today's game. Tuck with a shot. This one hits a stick and bounces up into the netting. the players on Team Southwest, because of the Minnesota community-based model and because of the Upper Midwest High School Elite League, they can still pursue college and even NHL hockey without having to move away and go leave their home to pursue that dream.
Yeah, I mean, the best example of that, a really good one, is Sam Walker, who played 2 years in the Elite League. He was Mr. Hockey at Minnesota High School Hockey last year, and he's at the University of Minnesota, stepped right in, playing a regular shift and playing great.
And he's a draft pick of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
He is.
And he's off to a great start in his college career, like you mentioned. We're less than 5 minutes into the game. John Connolly here with Mark Mackesy. It's been good pressure so far for Team Southwest. They've had a little bit of zone time as they've managed to gain possession, gain the zone, and try to work to get a few shots toward net. This one's knocked down, however. Malmquist shot eventually bounces back to Reiners. Reiners throws this one down to the end wall, and we're working the other way. Here comes Tyler Clevin. Clevin enters the zone. His pass doesn't connect, goes into the corner. He was looking for Ty Smolonic. Smolonic works Gretzky's office, trying to evade Jungles. Plays it back to the point. Shot from Sanderson gets knocked down in traffic. Malmquist is going the other way. Liam Malmquist jumps this down to the end wall. He's the leading scorer in the Elite League. Goes off for a line change, and it's a fresh 5 for Team Southwest. Entering the zone and bringing it in front of us is Berard. Berard cycles back to the point. Truscott shot, hits a leg pad, and goes just wide. That one didn't miss by much. Bros on the breakout, far wall. Doesn't get out of the zone as Dylan Peterson strong on the forecheck. Now it's Berard behind the goal. He looks out front, trying to find Smolonic, but it's Griffin Streeter that gets there for the interception. Throws it down, slow roller in the corner, no icing. Play continues. Counter move from Truscott. Truscott D to D. This one bobbles up over the stick of Sanderson. He gets it out to the neutral zone, however. Peterson tips it over far side to Berard.
John, game continues to open up a little bit here.
It's been back and forth strong in the last shift and a half. Both teams have managed to change on the fly, get some fresh personnel out there, and you have a feeling this is maybe a little bit more frenetic than Coach Paul Ranheim would like for Team Southwest. I think he'd like to see things settle down a little bit.
Yeah, great pace, not many whistles. Team USA doing a great job of keeping their F3 high, trying to prevent that Southwest transition game from getting on fire.
Caulfield's shot goes off the defender in front of the goal, or excuse me, that's Powell's shot, goes just wide. We get a stoppage play as it bobbles up over the glass. So Mark, we've talked very briefly today, but we went at great length yesterday about how players in Minnesota can play for their community-based high school. That's a season of about 25 games. Doesn't start till the traditional winter sports season for high school. And then they pick up supplemental 20-plus games in the Upper Midwest High School Elite League. But by doing that, they're not sacrificing anything. Some examples are a lot of these kids routinely miss games in this league on homecoming weekend, but you've got a great story from Friday night from your alma mater. Tell us about McFadden from St. Thomas Academy.
Yeah, Brendan McFadden, really a special athlete. He's a hockey player and a football player. He plays on Sean Toomey's Team Southeast. He's also a running back on the St. Thomas Academy football team. He had 5 touchdowns on Friday night. He turned around. He was playing at noon over on the other rink for the Southeast team.
5 touchdowns on Friday night. He's got 21 so far this season. That's a full-time job in and of itself for a high school student playing a high school varsity sport. He's excelling, and like you said, on his weekends, he comes out, plays Upper Midwest High School Elite League action. He's in front of every NHL team. They all scout this league. He's in front of every college program. All the Division I programs scout this league. And he's not really sacrificing the hockey dream to pursue the normal things that kids are able to do in high school. And in his case, as a high school football star, he's having a great season and really, enjoying the best of both worlds.
Yeah, I mean, the Elite League, they definitely support the multi-sport athlete. They encourage guys that may be committed to both sports to stick with them during the fall season.
Is there a doctor in the house? Yes, there is. That's him that chips it up along the near wall. A little bit too far for O'Neill, however, and a turnover. Now it's Daniel Latch bringing it up ice for Team USA. Bordelot tries one last pass over to Tuck. Doesn't quite have enough mustard on it to get to the slot, and it's an opportunity for Team Southwest to break it out to the neutral zone. Doctor is paired with Reiners. One of the storylines today is that there are about a dozen players. I'll get an official count, but this Team Southwest, more than half of the team comes from just 2 high schools. You can see some green pants hanging out above the pant shell. Those players play at Edina High School. And then there's another half dozen or so from Minnetonka, defending state champions in the Minnesota State High School tournament. So more than half of the teams coming from just 2 high schools. Bordelot with a point-blank shot. Huge save. That steered aside by Charlie Glockner. I mentioned Minnetonka. Charlie Glockner was the winning goaltender in the state tournament last year for the Skippers.
Yeah, John, we've got, like you'd mentioned, we've got 6 guys from Edina, 6 guys from Minnetonka. Minnetonka, the defending state champs. Edina taking the 3rd place trophy last year.
Laval, a little bit too far for Malmquist. You mentioned the 3rd place trophy. Not very often at a high level of play when you get down to the end of the season that a game for hardware, in this case the 3rd place championship, game for hardware ends up 11-0 was the score as Edina came out on top against Centennial. Just shows how high-powered Edina and Minnetonka, who was the ultimate state champions, were last year, and they've got we get an official count. I think it's about a dozen players in this game. I've got 6 from Minnetonka and I think 6 from Edina. So yeah, 12 out of 20 from just 2 high schools. Yesterday, Mark, we saw, I think it was, what was it, 14 from 3 high schools, 16 from 4 high schools, and really just a Duluth area all-star team. Nice shot and a rebound, both taken by Smolonic. Charlie Glockner up to the task. He makes a couple nice saves there. Glockner is going to be our guest between periods. He was interviewed by Grant Doctor a couple weeks ago at Maynard's. We'll play that one as a period break. Hope you enjoy the between period entertainment that we have on tap for today. Breakout pass from Sweeney doesn't leave the zone. It's a loose puck there. Smolonic tips it over. Did you catch the goal scorer? I think it's Yoder with the goal. Yoder picks up the loose change. He puts the NTDP on top. They lead 1-0.
Yeah, nice job by the NTDP of winning races, the loose pucks. They've had a great jump here so far this morning.
Puck out in front. Smolonic took the shot, found the rebound, and tipped it over. Laterally, Chase Yoder was wide open on that back door before Charlie Glockner could get the recovery. That makes it 1-0. Team USA, we've hit the midpoint of the first period. Team USA strikes first, and they now lead 1-0. Entering the zone is Slaggert. Slaggert had a nice goal yesterday, and I did notice one of the scouts that checked in was, I believe it's Andy Slaggert. Andy Slaggert checked in from Notre Dame, one of the coaching staff. Mark, we can breathe a sigh of relief. We've had some trouble with the internet in the building today. It's snowing outside, making it even trickier than yesterday. But we do see we've got a good viewership so far. Want to thank everybody for watching here at Watching Puck. If we cut out intermittently, please know the game is going to be posted tonight in archives, and you can watch that one straight through in high definition. Huge save there. Huge save by Glockner. Net became dislodged, but a very good scoring chance. A lot of pressure in the last couple minutes from the national team.
Yeah, the national team, they're doing a great job of winning races to loose pucks here in the offensive zone. I think the Southwest team, they've just got to get themselves poised, get back into that transition game.
So you told your story earlier about St. Thomas player Brandon McFadden. Take a look out on defense right now at number 4, Jake Boltman for Edina. Friday night, 10 o'clock news, they get down to the bottom of the hour and they start showing football highlights. There's Jake Boltman taking it to the house, 80 yards for a touchdown in Edina's 21-14 win over Maple Grove. Huge, huge implications in the playoff race, and it's very impressive to see a player focusing on hockey. He's a college commit to Minnesota that is able to still play high school varsity football. So it's not just McFadden, it's also Jake Boltman as well. He's out there right now wearing number 4 for the Black. Face-off is controlled by Team USA, but they can't get a stick on it. Eventually they do. Sliding through, taking it toward the goal is Matty Beniers. Beniers from New England, and he's a beautiful skater. He's ridden off the puck. Very nice defensive coverage here by Team Southwest. Shot from the point straight from Connor Kelly, or excuse me, that's actually Daniel Latch. Straight into Glockner. He gets the save, gets the cover. We get a face-off coming to his right.
Yeah, Glockner, he's been strong here so far. That first one, he didn't have much of a chance on, but he's done well controlling rebounds. He's a big target in there, and again, A lot of big game experience for him.
O'Neill, Litke, Lagerbach, Laval, and over on the far side, I can't tell, is that Reiners, Mason Reiners. Nice backdoor opportunity there. The puck bouncing over the stick of Brock Faber. Faber was stepping in with a real good chance to bury it before Glockner could recover, but the puck took a big bounce and crisis averted for Team Southwest. They quickly get it down to the other end. Puck bobbles right in front of goaltender Noah Grannon. Grannon gets the cover. We're going to face off coming to his left.
And this line out here with Ryan O'Neill centering it, they've been one of the hottest lines for Southwest this year.
We're going to talk a little bit more about players like O'Neill and Malmquist, who have been very critical to this team's success, and we can talk maybe about how these teams form and the process that players go through to become an Elite League member. Play continues with 8 minutes to go in the period. Shot whistling just wide, but kept in at the near point by Litke. Litke plays this down to the end wall. A lot of confusion across the state of hockey on how to pronounce his name, but the player told me straight from his mouth, he pronounces it Lid-Key, just like a lid, just like a key. He's got the puck right now and skates across the blue line into neutral, and he hits O'Neill. O'Neill with a nice crafty move at the blue line, a little bit too far for his right wing. Over on the right side, that's Teddy Lagerbach.
Yeah, and so far this has been Southwest's best line this afternoon. They've got good jump. They've created most of the scoring chances to date.
Icing the call, we'll bring it back down. I see that the national team honored my request. Yesterday I kept calling goaltender Drew Camasillo. They asked me to correct the pronunciation, and I said, you know, you can make it a lot easier if you just change goalies. So today they did just that. Noah Grannon in goal. He's another University of Wisconsin commitment, one of 3 on the national team development program you'll see today. The puck is dropped and play is in the attacking end for Team Southwest. A little bit of a dark spot there we can't see. They keep it in front of Charchenko. Now it's Jungle circling behind the goal. Jungles, short pass over on the far side to Sweeney. Sweeney down to Jungles. Jungles, operating out of the corner, fights a battle against the much larger defender. Jake Sanderson has several inches and several pounds, but it's actually Jungles with his evasive moves that slides out of the corner with the puck.
Yeah, nice shift there. Nice job by Jungles getting it over to Sweeney. Sweeney with a great shot on net.
We mentioned that our between period guest for period 1 is Grant Doctor interviewing Charlie Glockner, today's goaltender. Period 2, you're going to hear from Liam Malmquist. We went on over to McCoy's. McCoy's a great family establishment, and we sat down with him, and our host Gracie Nelson asked him a few questions. So what questions would you have for the Elite League leading scorer? Our host Gracie had a chance to do just that. Transition 3-on-2. Jungles, short pass, a little bit too far. Sweeney got a hold of it and planned to play over to Malmquist, but Malmquist was tagging up at the blue line, and the play kind of fizzled from there. Sweeney's down along the end wall. Sweeney's an interesting story, Mark. When you look at yesterday's roster, Duluth East, Cloquet, Hermantown, then today's roster, Edina, Minnetonka. A lot of these players play on the top teams, and that's why they're the top teams, is they have a lot of these players. But this is an opportunity for a player whose traditional high school team may not be power, and Sweeney's an example of that. He goes to Hopkins. Hopkins will be, lower team this year, but an individual player has a chance to get an opportunity to showcase their skills, not playing against inferior competition or in a one-sided game that they lose. They're getting a chance to play against the best players in Minnesota in games like this.
Yeah, I mean, this league is heavily scouted by the coaches in this league in terms of selection. So everybody really gets the opportunity to demonstrate their abilities in front of these coaches, and then of course there's that opportunity to try out.
We'll talk more about the selection process for the Elite League. Want to let you know that the Southwest power play is in effect as Ty Smolonic went off. Still 92 seconds to go in that minor penalty to Smolonic. This is just what you're looking for. If you're on that Southwest bench right now, trailing a goal, had a little trouble generating sustained scoring chances, sustained pressure, one of the things that can change that and get them some momentum as if they take advantage of a power play opportunity, and here they have it.
Yeah, they're running at about 25%, which leads the Elite League. This is the first opportunity here for either team today.
Pitlick out with Doctor. This pass bounces over the stick of Litke. Pitlick fights through. Pitlick's an outstanding player, and I don't know if I'll get a chance to tell it, but a nice kind of family story there with his background with a sibling and father that both are hockey players. 1 minute to go in this power play. Cleared out to the blue line in the neutral zone and gathered up quickly by Doctor and Litke. They can't quite get a handle on it, however. It's Daniel Latch that plays this one over to his defensive partner. Glockner behind his goal. He leaves this for Doctor. Glockner, Doctor, Litke, 1, 2, 3. That's a great back half. All Minnetonka skipper players. And now we see, taking it down to the end wall, Josh Litke.
Yeah, Josh Litke does a great job, runs the power play for Minnetonka during the year, also does the same thing for Team Southwest out here today.
Good play there for Streeter to use his position to fight off the attacker and manage to gain possession. Short-lived, however, is a very strong shorthanded forecheck here from Bordelot and Slaggert. They both scored a goal yesterday. Bordelot and Slaggert, some of the very impressive players that have come to town this week to play play against Team Southwest. That'll do it for the penalty. There's 4 seconds to go. Looks like we have another penalty. This is going to be head contact. We're using the USA Hockey rulebook, so that should be a minor penalty plus a misconduct, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was...
Doctor goes off. Well, they are using the USA Hockey rulebook, I believe. Yesterday was very confusing. There was a game where each team was permitted 2 timeout. So we thought they both burned them in the second period, and they both used one in the third, so very confusing for me. Just like this one, nobody goes to serve the minor, so it's just a straight 2-minute minor. He did signify head contact, so obviously not you in the USA Hockey Youth Rulebook. Coming in at a 4-on-4 opportunity is Nevers. Nevers, big wrister there. Nevers is an interesting story. He's college committed to the University of Minnesota, and his father is a 2-sport athlete. He was an outstanding hockey player, wound up being a first-round draft choice of the Houston Astros, and following a minor pro baseball career, well, actually not following, during a minor pro baseball career, actually attended college for a few years and played some for the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Outstanding hockey and baseball player. His son Mason focuses on just hockey, and he's one of the top players. He plays a little baseball in the summers, but he is one of the top players in Minnesota and probably on a short list of about 10 or 12 players that are in the running for Mr. Hockey this year.
Yeah, he's a 2-year guy in this league. He had an outstanding Elite League last year. He had an outstanding high school season, and he's picked up right where he left off with his season this year in the Elite League.
3 minutes, 20 seconds to go. 70 seconds to go in that minor penalty to Grant Doctor. Doctor is off. It's been a good PK so far, but they still have the second half of this penalty to take care of, does Team Southwest. Bordelot over on the half wall, skates it back, plays it over to the near point, and it's a shot tipped by Smolonic, came off the stick of Powell. Heavy on the puck down along the wall. This is Tuck. Tuck is just a beast out there. He's a tough physical matchup. He's listed 6'1", 197. At an age where some kids haven't filled out yet, Tuck at 197 is a real imposing presence out there.
Yeah, he's a big boy, and they're just keeping it simple on this power play. They're putting him right in front of the net and hoping he can either screen or find something loose and bang it in.
Team Southwest, if they have a weakness in a game like this, Mark, I think we'd have to say, the speed has a second side to it where they're very, very small. Several of these players weighing 150 pounds or so, and even some of the highly, highly skilled defensemen probably don't crack 170. So it's not a big team. They focus on speed and skill. Lagerbach comes out as the penalty expires to Doctor. Sanderson with a snapper, the screen goaltender makes the save and the recovery, keeps the puck at bay, but Tuck was right on the doorstep.
Yeah, nice job on the kill there by Team Southwest. They really didn't give up too many great opportunities. So right now both teams are perfect on the penalty kill.
1-0 is your score. In case you just joined us, I'm John Connolly here. Thanks for tuning in to Watching Puck. Mark Mackesy is an Upper Midwest High School Elite League board member. He's done a great job these 2 games this weekend on color. It's been a treat working with you, Mark. You've had a lot of insight onto the games in terms of your playing background, the players in the league, and just the league itself. So when you look at the process to become a player, let's talk about that, because it's my understanding the teams are about half filled by invitation, and
Correct.
That's based on past performance and high school performance in the past. But how does somebody else find their way onto these teams, and give us some examples of players that have done just that?
Yeah, so I mean, what happens is these coaches, they'll go out and they'll scout every team in the state. So every kid that's a high school hockey player is going to have the opportunity to be looked at by these guys. At that point, they're going to select a handful of guys to come in with what you would call automatic spots. So that's one way you get in. The other way you get in is you impress these guys and you get an opportunity as an invite tryout player. So about 70% of the league are guys that these guys go out and coach, and they offer automatic spots to, and about 30 come in through a tryout that we hold in the fall here.
So, Mark, if I'm following it correctly, the good guys are invited, and then they fill in with some scrubs from a tryout.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what, everybody in this league is great. And so
who are some examples of that?
Well,
obviously, I'm kidding around, but it's amazing some of the depth in Minnesota, and evidence would be which players that make it through that tryout process.
Liam Malmquist and Ryan O'Neill are 2 that are out here today. Liam Malmquist is leading the league in scoring. Ryan O'Neill isn't far behind him. Both outstanding players that made it into the tryout process. Both guys are getting a lot of looks by Division I programs right now.
So I think that speaks to the depth of hockey in the Upper Midwest. You know, I talked a lot about it being a Minnesota high school league. In full disclosure, there's an entire team from Wisconsin, and about half of a team, the Great Plains team, about a third or half of the team comes from North Dakota. So it's the Midwest and some of the bordering states. So Liam Malmquist, he's skating off the ice right now, number 17, as his shift ends. Liam Malmquist is a great example. They do a rough cut for, over 100 players that are invited straight to this league. He had a good year for Edina High School last year, but then he goes to that tryout process, and what you just said, he's identified as someone who can play in the league, but he's not providing them with a filler player. He actually leads the entire league in scoring.
Yeah, just again, and that's not uncommon that guys come in through that tryout and they just have outstanding years in this league. This is, again, filled with talented players.
Glockner makes about 43 saves. Eventually the puck is fired into the goal. However, the referee right there waving it off, saying no goal as the net had been moved. I believe he was covering the puck, and both him and the puck wound up getting pushed, knocked the goal off. No goal. We'll stay at 1-0, 35 seconds to go in this period. Yeah. So Liam Malmquist leads the league in scoring this year. So, Mark, do you remember who led the league in scoring last year?
Well, I'm going to guess it was Sammy Walker.
Demetrius Komanzi, another player from Edina High School. And the reason I mention his name is he's a player that went straight from high school hockey and playing varsity hockey in the winter and fall elite league. He went straight to NCAA. One of the real impressive teams out of the gate so far has been Arizona State. He's a freshman playing a significant role on that team. He's already on the board with some goals, some assists. He's got some points. And he was able to bypass junior hockey in large part because of the Upper Midwest High School Elite League.
Yeah, Arizona State, they've come into Minnesota and they've made a presence here. They've made it known that they're interested in these type of players, and in the early days, they've signed up some very good hockey players out of the state of Minnesota from the Elite League.
One of the examples today is, beautiful, beautiful play here. Faber did a great job getting up in that rush as that fourth attacker. His shot doesn't miss by much, just over the crossbar. Teddy Lagerbach wears 24. He is in the Upper Midwest High School Elite League and committed to Arizona State, so an example of that pipeline. We could talk a little bit more about the pipeline from Minnesota to college hockey in Arizona, but we'd have to go back to the early 80s when Northern Arizona University had a Division I team. So that's certainly been a long time in the review. It's great to see Arizona State adding hockey. We're going to go to break. We've got some real good between-period entertainment for you. We're going to have an interview with Mike Kester, provided by the Elite League, and then it's Glock and Doc. Charlie Glockner, today's goaltender, being interviewed by Grant Doctor, both players from Minnetonka, and then a nice feature from Glenn Andreessen where he talks about Minnesota's community-based hockey model. John Conley with Mark Mackesy will be right back in about 12 minutes.
No, so I grew up playing in Marshall, Minnesota, skating since I was 3. And then I moved to Chaska when I was 10 years old. Yeah, so back when we were in Marshall, I was fortunate enough to make the Minnesota Blades, and for about 2 months we were driving 2.5 hours almost every day just for practice. That was one way, and then back home for school the next day. And it kind of became like a routine. So then we made the move to Chaska, and we were fortunate enough to have a pond in our backyard. So every winter my dad would get out, not just shovel it, but Zamboni it too. My pond crew is definitely the guys at Chaska. I got like Blaine Warner, Nick Olmscheid, Shane Lavelle, Rhett Pillick, Ethan Benz, Billy Bronson. It's like, there's so many of them. Just the entire team comes over sometimes. Yeah, I mean, after the training camp up in Blaine and from one game in, you know, it's awesome. It's really fast paced, but it's really challenging. I really am using it as a learning tool, and I can analyze kind of what I can do better, you know. I was able to play on the 5 Nations team that went to the Czech Republic. So I went to the 2017 national camp and ended up making the team of 2022, I think it was, and a training camp in the Czech Republic. So we ended up being in Australia. So it was pretty cool to win the gold there. Growing up, ever since I can remember, we was always watching the Golden Gophers, and you know, it was pretty tough to say no when they came calling, because I've always pictured myself in a Gopher uniform. Yeah, I get this question a lot, and it's like, I don't think of it as staying home or staying back, because every decision I'm making right now is like helping my development in my career, and in the end it is my career. So yeah, I think since freshman year we've started something in Chaska, and I think this is the year that, you know, I really want to finish it and do our best and see how if we can bring that state championship to Chaska.
All right, we're here live at Maynard's on Lake Minnetonka with our guest star, Charlie Glockner, #1 for Minnetonka. Unbelievable goalie, unbelievable guy. I know you're a little nervous as well as Teddy was. Both guys are not a little shy in front of the camera. So we're going to get you rolling with the game. We're going to go 2 lies and 1 truth.
Okay. I've bitten a hole in 1. I've been to Hawaii twice, and I was named after Charlie Brown.
So we're going to go to a break, and then we'll be right back and answer these questions. Alright. So Charlie, we know you take a lot of vacations, and you might have went to Hawaii twice. So what's your favorite spot to vacation?
I'd have to say Florida. Florida's always a fun place to vacation. You know, get on the beach and hit the links with the uncle.
All right. So we know you like music. I've been in the car with you. You love to blast your music. What's your favorite type of music?
Right now it's country. I love country music.
What kind of country?
Just country in general.
Just any country. Do you have a favorite song?
Yeah, Meant to Be by Florida Georgia Line.
I don't know that one. Do you know it? Can you sing it a little bit?
If it's meant to be, it'll be, baby, just let it be.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yes, I know, I'm a talented singer.
All right, so those were the easy questions, Charlie. We are now on to the toughest question, and probably the most important. Who is your celebrity crush?
Oh, I'm gonna have to say Ellie Dulac.
Ooh,
yeah,
that is a good one.
Yes.
Give me some up top. I like that one. So you mentioned a former Minnetonka girl in Ellie Dulac, and so now we're going to talk about Minnetonka girls. What's the best thing about Minnetonka girls?
You know, they're very nice and supportive of our team, and they're just a lot of fun.
Love it. So we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back.
We've been here since 1998. Excelsior has helped Maynard's in a lot of different ways in our growth and just our ability to maintain, you know, a consistent level of business. Our staff kind of sets the tone right when you walk in the door that, People are here to have fun. We try to provide just kind of a casual atmosphere for people to hang out, be with friends, be with family, and just enjoy themselves. A lot of people seek out the lake and the restaurants. A lot of our regular customers love to bring all their out-of-town friends here. You know, friends from out of town, we got to take them to Maynard. Any college kid that comes back, this is sometimes they always stop here before they even make it back to their house. They know they're going to get a good meal at a good price and good service, and people make memories here. It's been a positive experience for my family and I, and one we look to continue on.
So Charlie, you've made many saves in many buildings, saved many games. What's your favorite rink to play at?
My favorite rink to play at is Braemar.
Why Braemar?
It's a fun atmosphere, and it's against our rivals, the Edina Hornets, and it's just always a blast playing there.
I love it. I love it. So now we're back from break, and we're going to be talking about his 2 lies and 1 truth. I'm going to have to go with his 1 truth is that he's hit a hole-in-one. Am I correct?
Not correct.
I am not correct. So what is the truth?
My truth is I was named after Charlie Brown. To prove it, my little sister's named after Charlie Brown's sister, Lucy.
Wow. That's an awesome fact, and I love that. So that was a wrap. We were here with Minnetonka's all-star goalie, best one in the state, #1 Minnetonka Skippers, Charlie Glockner. Unbelievable guy and unbelievable goalie.
I appreciate it.
I'm John Connolly here with Glenn Andreessen, Executive Director for Minnesota Hockey. Glenn, nice to see you.
Thanks for having me, John.
So this week's an exciting weekend. We have the U.S. National Team Development Program coming to play 2 games against Minnesota High School All-Star teams. They'll face the North on Saturday, with a lot of players from Duluth East, and then on Sunday they'll face Team Southwest. You're responsible for overseeing the business side of Minnesota's community-based hockey model. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where the Upper Midwest High School Elite League fits in to your purview?
Yeah, well, it's kind of a long process, but the High School Elite League was really formed in a way to preserve and enhance the high school hockey that we already have had here for generations. And high school hockey is so important to youth hockey because those are what our young boys and girls aspire to. Someday, yes, they want to play for the Wild, yes, they want to play for a Division I college team, but really the first attainable goal for kids in Minnesota is to play for that high school team. They want to be a part of the state tournament, they want to wear their school colors, they want to be in these packed buildings in front of their friends and family. And so high school hockey is really important to inspire youth hockey players. And what the Elite League has done is it has provided a way to keep more of those high school players here in Minnesota and inspiring those kids once they get to their high school league team. So not only has it done that, but it's also provided a great method of development for these players. Instead of just 25 games, they're getting 20 to 25 games with the Elite League. They're playing to get noticed, get seen by scouts, enhance their game. And then when that season ends, they're onto their high school team where they're leaders in their school, leaders in their community, and leaders of their team. They're all typically the best players on their team. So they're getting such great experience in the Elite League and in high school hockey, and it just filters down through youth hockey. And like I said, inspires all these kids to want to keep playing and be a part of it.
So, Glenn, I'm a Minnesota native, and I've lived away for a period of time, and I'm familiar with hockey throughout North America. And it's hard to describe to people just how big of a deal the community model is and those high school teams that you talk about. And it's something that you and I know full well. The live attendance for good high school rivalry games in the winter rivals what you see on a normal weekend with New England's Division I NCAA teams. Live streaming games, thanks for watching today, by the way, live streaming games typically have not hundreds, not dozens of views, but thousands of views when we have big high school games. So that's the path, I guess, from the community model. So let's talk just real quick about the community model. We've got a split viewership. People that are watching the NTDP, they're familiar with club hockey. So just talk about the youth hockey and how that is set up, very similar to how the high schools are by where you live.
Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, it's exactly like you said. You play where you live or where you go to school, and that's really it. There's no free agency in Minnesota. You can't pick and choose based on, well, I know these kids over here that are going to be a good team, so I'm going to go over there, or this coach is really good, so I'm going to go over there. You play where you live, and what that does is it forces the associations where those kids are to really develop their players, because those are the kids they're going to have from ages 5 all the way up to 18. So high school coaches get involved in the youth programs. The youth programs want to make their kids as strong as possible. So take a place like Hermantown. If they have a year where they don't have a good goaltender. So it really encourages that development. And then the other part of the community-based model is it's so inviting relative to other parts of the country. It's a very low-cost environment. We have rinks in every town. And so a kid can get into the game for a pretty low cost. And granted, it's not a cheap sport, but relative to everywhere else, you can play hockey for a fraction of the price that you would anywhere else. And that keeps kids in the game longer. It keeps that pyramid wider. So maybe the late bloomers or the top developing kids can all have that path onto the next levels if they're so inclined.
And that's really been the Minnesota philosophy, is that the wider the base, the higher the peak. And today's a good example of that. We have players in the Saturday game that turned down an invitation to play for the National Team Development Program. It's a great program. USA Hockey spends a lot of money in supporting and promoting and growing those players, but it's not the only path for elite players, and we have examples of that in the game today.
Absolutely, and the stats bear it out. If you look at Minnesotans in the NHL or Minnesotans playing Division I hockey, the majority of those players played high school hockey through their senior year. And the ones that didn't, almost all of them played at least some high school hockey. So the community model and the high school model have played a major role in getting those kids and then adults to where they are. And so, yeah, a kid can stay here. We have so much good competition, so many good teammates, so many good coaches, so many people, volunteers that support these kids all the way up from young ages through high school. So there's a lot of advantages to being here, and it's great to see that kids can stay in their communities, stay in their homes for as long as possible in a healthy environment, and then still be competitive at hockey.
Well, he's Glenn Andreessen from Ground Zero in the state of hockey. This is XL Energy Center, home of the Minnesota Wild. John Connolly, thanks.
Thank you.
Tell me when our mics are live. The puck is dropped, and we are back. John Connolly here with Mark Mackesy. You just heard from Glenn Andreessen, Executive Director for Minnesota Hockey. He did a great job. Met me down on the Wild Ice at the XL Energy Center. I didn't make it as a player, but I had an opportunity to get on the ice at the XL. That was just a treat. Talked to him earlier this week. Play continues. We are 1-0, very early second period. Mark, yesterday's game, this is kind of where it all broke down for Team North, beginning at period 2.
Yeah, Team North, they had a great start, got on the board first. Team USA responded, and then there was a flurry, and they battled back. And so it'll be interesting to see. That wasn't a great first period for Southwest with only 6 shots on net. This is probably the most high-powered team in this league. I expect a very big response from them in the second period here.
Shots on goal were 12-6. One of the things about this high-powered team is they had some concern about transition, so they've been leaving a third forward back, really kind of locking down that neutral zone all game, and it's led to a harder time getting players up in the rush. You and I both know Coach Paul Ranheim can just flip the switch, and they can go all out at any moment if they need to get some goals on the board.
Yep.
Broken out to the neutral zone. Rink-wide pass is stolen here by Beniers. Beniers plays Smilanic. Smilanic down into the corner. Cuts over with his shoulders. Point blank. I thought that went in. Beniers took the pass from Smilanic. I thought he shoveled it up over Glockner's shoulder. Good thing Grant Doctor's Charlie Glockner's a tall goaltender. That one hit him in the shoulder instead of the upper corner.
Yeah, Glockner, big target, doing a nice job in there, playing with a lot of poise. Had 11 saves in the first period.
Smilanic, he's got Clevin on 1 point. Right side is Faber. Clevin's from Fargo. This is Tyler Clevin. We also have Kyler Clevin playing in the Elite League. He's from Moorhead. And Kyler tells me there's no relation. I have a hard time imagining 2 Clevins playing elite level hockey at around the same age. Don't have at least some distant cousin relationship. Mark, yesterday coach was Grant Clapton, Carter Clapton in goal. Their cousins, you're not able to play in the Elite League for your high school coach. So Grant Clapton coaches Greenway, which is an adjacent town to Grand Rapids. Coach Paul Ranheim for this team. He coaches at Eden Prairie as an assistant to Lee Smith. That means they can't add players to their team like Jack Jensen and Sam Pejor and Spencer Rudrud. So the Southwest team is all kids from the Southwest suburbs, with one exception, nobody from Eden Prairie.
Correct.
O'Neill walks it in and takes a shot. This one doesn't miss by much. Down into the corner, here's Smolonic. This has been a long shift for Team USA. Second period's a long line change. Great opportunity here if they can get pucks in front of the net. They may just outlast Team USA for Southwest to get their first goal on the game. Laval, he's college committed to Wisconsin. Mentioned that 3 players in the Stars and Stripes are as well. His pass hits the skate boot, goes over to O'Neill. O'Neill gets around it, one man, but loses the puck in the process. Here comes Smolonic. Tries to go through the wickets, turns the puck over. Kind of lost his feet there. As we mentioned, he was tired late in the shift. Catching him on a line change was a nice pass there from Malmquist. He was trying to get the puck back to Laval, but it rolled off of his stick before he could get a good shot off.
The game's starting to open up a little bit here, John. That last shift by Southwest was one of their better of the game. Lagerbach, O'Neill, and Laval leading the way.
Berard doesn't miss by much there. That one goes just wide of the goal. You know, you mentioned the game opening up. I think part of it is second period, you're defending the goal further from your bench. It's harder to get those line changes, and you're waiting for a whistle. And as a result, first 3.5 minutes of this period, it's been end-to-end action with the U.S. Getting a couple good scoring chances, and Team Southwest as well. I think we've had as many good scoring chances so far in this period as we had in the first period, all 20 minutes.
Yeah, starting to open up here.
Beautiful play there. Couple good cracks at it. Sanderson, you see that fourth player up in the rush. Sanderson's a defender. He ends up taking the net out. He got all the way down to the goal line, and that's one of the things that Team Southwest, probably their best bet to defend that is if they have possession themselves, because there's really not much you can do if U.S. is in possession of the puck and sends 4 guys to the goal.
Yeah, I mean, both these teams, great transition games, defensemen that can get up in the rush and attack as a fourth forward.
Johnny Ev out there with Strand and Peterson. Strand bodies the defender along the wall. Looks like he's working against Tristan Brose. Peterson snaps this one down into the corner and says Janiev. Janiev throws this one out looking for a bounce off of a skate boot. The shot there goes just wide from Strand. Strand wears number 49, Mark. He's from Alaska, the 49th state. Pitlick enters the zone. 2-on-1 opportunity. Nice pass there over to Brose, but the shot was tipped by the defender and goes off the back glass. Here comes Strand. Strand, very clever with the puck. I believe he's yet to turn 16 years old. Playing with a lot of maturity out there as one of the younger players in this game.
Well, really impressed with Pitlick's speed. Just watching him out here, he reminds me a lot of Sammy Walker from last year. Little smaller guy, great speed, and a future gopher.
Dylan Peterson, a Boston University commit, had a nice head of steam there, and the defenseman just couldn't keep up with him. Got a good shot off, but nice save there by Charlie Glockner. Glockner's been outstanding today. We're about 5 minutes into the second period. Bordelot steps into the face-off circle. I wasn't the only one. Consensus opinion seemed to be that he was the top forward yesterday for Team USA, and he's been a little quieter today, but he sure looked good yesterday. Latch plays it over to Tuck. Tuck headmanning the puck. This one winds up to Tanner Latch. Latch works along the end wall against Boltman. Swinging it over in the direction of Tuck. Bordelot. Shot from Latch. This one bounds up into the netting. We get a stoppage play. Face-off coming to Glockner's right.
Again, Glockner been strong. Similar to Clafton yesterday.
I'm John Conley. He's Mark Mackes. Want to thank everybody for watching here on Watching Puck. Sidney Hench is operating the camera. Joe Henches is our producer. We've had a great game for you today. 1-0 the score. Lone goal scored earlier by Chase Yoder, banging home a rebound. Well, actually, the rebound was passed off by Ty Smolonic, and Yoder banged it home. That has us at 1-0. Southwest is pinned back into their own end, trying to find possession and get it out to neutral zone. They lose the faceoff, however, back to Daniel Latch on the point.
Big faceoff win there by Team USA.
This line's looked very good today. Tuck playing with Smolonic. It's a little different. Oh, it's a bounce. Nevers threw that one in the direction of the goal. It hit the defender's skate and bounced. Good leg pad save there by Noah Grant and keeps us 1-0. Nice pass by Bayless. Bayless wants it back, so he trolls down, but it's a shot taken there by Boltman. Everybody tags up, and it's turned over. Olmscheid with a shot. His snapper hits a leg boot and goes. Talked to the coaches before the game. They talk about throwing pizzas. That was a huge turnover right there from Team USA. Uncharacteristic. We usually see them take care of the puck so far in these two games. A lot better than that.
Yeah, they've done a great job. You know, very few turnovers that have been critical. Not many odd man rushes either.
Faber took a snapper there. There were two white jerseys trying for the tip and the rebound down. Very strong net front presence. Comes Mason Nevers. Chip pass over to O'Neill. O'Neill brings this one back toward the point. Pops over to Lagerbach, but Beniers steals it away from him. Beniers' pass to Yoder does not connect. Gets around the defender, and Faber picks it up. Strong on the forecheck here is Lagerbach. Lagerbach's a goal scorer. He won't need much daylight if you give him a puck down low. Don't be surprised if you find it in the back of the net.
Yeah, again, this line has really impressed me. O'Neill, Lagerbach, Laval. They've seemed to be generating most of the offense so far for Team Southwest.
Oh, nice goal there. The net was about a foot off. Nice pass here from Beniers out front. Can't tell for sure who's potted that one in the goal. Beniers over to Smolonic. Smolonic now with a goal and an assist. He puts NTDP up 2-0.
Well, that's what we've seen. Their ability to finish around the net with a lot of skilled forwards. When they get opportunities and open looks, they buried them this weekend so far.
Smolonic, a rare uncommitted player. You have players like Beniers that have yet to choose their college. I've heard some chatter over the years that Smolonic is viewed as a candidate to go play major junior hockey in Canada when his stint with the NTDP ends. Well, I guess we'll find out for sure in about a year and a half. They put down Smolonic from Truscott. My apologies, Smolonic from Truscott. Jacob Truscott with the assist, 59 from 55. Faceoff comes to the left of Charlie Glockner. Stepping into the faceoff circle is Landon Slager. Won, however, by Jet Jungles. Great faceoff win there. Jet Jungles comes from a hockey family. Father Keith Jungles is a classmate of mine, used to play on my adult league team. A great high school player back in his day for Edina High. But I mentioned the hockey family. Chase Jungles, older brother, state champion at Benilde St. Margaret. But Jet has two younger sisters. Don't be surprised if you see one or both of them playing for the U.S. Olympic team one day. She's considered one of the top players her age in all of the United States. Yeah, we resume play here. Sweeney throws it down to the end wall, and it's Jungles in pursuit. Nice play here by Grant, and they work it out far side to the blue line, but not out. Great player there on that left point, kept in by Reiners. Drawing a penalty, working toward the goal. We get our hooking call. Down 2-0, Mark. I have a feeling this is what Coach Paul Ranheim and Team Southwest has been looking for, a chance to get back in the game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with the power play that's been clicking at 25% in the Elite League, leading the Elite League in that metric, let's see what they can do here.
They had a power play opportunity earlier, did not score. Minor penalty, a hook to Jake Sanderson. He's from Whitefish, Montana. He goes off. This now gives Team Southwest very much needed power play. The clock just went down, comes back to life here. 150 remaining in the power play. 150, but they've turned the puck over. They lost the zone. We have an offside call. Want to thank everybody for watching today. Team USA with a 2-0 lead over Team Southwest from the Upper Midwest High School Elite League. Faceoff is controlled by Team USA, but it slips off the stick of Powell, and it's Pitlick that gets there first. Pitlick's a dangerous one. He circles the zone and slides it over to Reiners. He can't quite keep it on his stick, and they've lost the zone, lost possession. They do regain it back, however, Great play here from Pitlick. So Pitlick's an interesting one. We talk about the opportunity to play Upper Midwest High School Elite League and play for your high school team. He's at Chaska. Chaska's going to have their best team ever this year. His father's from these parts. Went to high school at Cooper, which is about a block outside the building. But he's got an older brother, and it's interesting. He was an Elite League player, Mark, but he didn't play for one of the Minnesota high school all-star teams. He played for Shattuck St. Mary's.
Yeah, Shattuck St. Mary's, it plays in this league as well. Games down there during the week, and then they come up here after their school year starts, and they play. And that's the best competition they see all year, is when they come up and play the high school Elite League teams.
And I mentioned Shattuck St. Mary's. They have a draw over all of North America and even the world. And, you know, Eric Howler is an example. And you have the Shattuck kids get some great competition from Elite League teams. So great that Rhett Pitlick, who's on the NHL watch list, back of the net, Olmscheid. Olmscheid bangs it in, assisted by Nevers. Mark, that was one, I want to go back and watch that on replay. One of the most interesting exchanges actually happened after the goal. Olmscheid fires it into the net. He saw the net had been moved off his moorings. He turned, he didn't celebrate. He turned and looked at the ref, fully expecting the goal to be waved off, and he saw there was no signal, and Olmscheid then decided, let me join Nevers. I'm going to celebrate too. They just cut the margin in half.
There it is, that power play that was running at 25%. They're 1 for 2 here today.
Great goal there. Olmscheid also goes to Chaska High. He's a high school teammate of Pitlick. He takes that pass from Nevers, makes this one 2-1. Nevers isn't done yet. Slides the pass over to Bayless. Clevin gets there first, however, and he steals it. Stretch pass doesn't connect. Actually, it did connect. Big neutral zone hit there. Daniel Janiev. He's the smallest player in the game. He gets decked at 125 pounds, but he jumps right back up. And, oh, big hit there. That's an obvious call. Boltman takes out Janiev. Boltman's going to go off. We'll see. Head contact, minor penalty. Boltman getting a little overly aggressive there. And from Team Southwest standpoint, this is a disappointing shift in momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. They had struck on the power play, continue to build on the momentum that they had in the first half of the period. Now they're going to have to go and kill this thing off.
Boltman's a big, strong player. He had committed to the University of Minnesota as a 9th grader. He takes out Daniel Janiev. He is not a big player. He's the smallest player in the game. He's got the puck right now, plays it back to Truscott. Truscott plays it D to D. Truscott's working a little back and forth game over on the wall with Connor Kelly. Nice play here. Laval, yet another Chaska player, turns the puck over for Team USA. Lagerbach's pass misses the intended target. He hit Danny instead, and entering the zone, Chase Yoder's looking for some time. We get a face-off. So, Mark, we've got 6 players from Edina High, 6 players from Minnetonka High. How many do we have? Is it 3 from Chaska today? Pitlick, Olmscheid, and maybe it's just 2. I thought we had 3. Oh, Laval. So that's 15 kids from 3 high schools, very similar to yesterday, where we think of the Upper Midwest High School Elite League as all-star teams from a pretty big area. But when you get down to it, once they divvy up the teams, it's from a very, very small, concentrated area.
Yeah, again, those are the great youth hockey programs, big numbers. They will continue to put a lot of kids in this league. And on the flip side of that, these coaches get out and they see everybody. So every kid does get the opportunity to demonstrate their ability to play in this league. It just happens that those communities are producing a lot of the really good hockey players. And a year from now, 2 years from now, you could see that shift. It could be somewhere else.
What a great sequence. Charlie Glockner makes a huge save on the penalty kill. Team USA manages to clear out to neutral. A minute. Oh, is it Huber today?
He's going in.
Glockner.
He's going in.
Oh, we're switching goalies. Okay. So Glockner makes a huge save. Team Southwest clears it out to neutral zone, and there's an interference call. This one goes against Landon Slaggert of Team USA. We've switched goalies. Huber goes in for Southwest. Now we're going to skate the next 58 seconds 4-on-4. That'll open up the game a little bit more. At that point, it'd be another Team Southwest power play, barring any further stoppages. Tuck can't quite get around the corner before running out of room. He caught the defenseman a little bit flat-footed, but a great play there to recover by that left defender for Team Southwest. Can't quite tell from here, but I believe that's Josh Litke. Josh Litke's recently college committed to Denver, and he's considered one of the Mr. Hockey finalists here in the state of hockey entering his senior year.
Yeah, Mr. Hockey finalist, and also he'll be a candidate for the Reed Larson Award, along with Michael Vorlicki, who plays on this team, who plays at Edina High School, who's really been kind of one of the emerging players in this league. He's got 14 points. This is his third year in the league, and there's a guy that's really emerging, showing great things. He's going to be a Wisconsin Badger. Marco Siki really lucky to get him down there.
Yeah, Vorlicki's an outstanding player. It's funny, these names. I've played Squirt and Pee Wee hockey against Marco Siki. He wanted to play in the NHL. Had a chance to play against Mike Vorlicki's father, Larry Vorlicki. And these people, Mark, I guess my point of this is, this team you're seeing in black comes from a very, very small area in the southwest suburbs. Tying the game, 4-on-4 goal, Josh Litke, it's 2-2.
We just talked about him, John, and there he is again, a potential Mr. Hockey and or Reed Larson Award winner showing what he can do.
So you talked to me between periods about what I think we will call the crowding out effect. We've got 6 players in this game from Minnetonka. We've got 6 players from Edina. These players play at their own high schools, and it might be hard to get some attention. There's so many good players that you're next to. You could be just a sliver behind, or maybe be given a sliver less opportunity, and you're crowded out. You're not able to get the visibility that you need. And I think we see that in terms of Southwest depth of scoring. You mentioned 4 lines are scoring, 3 rock-solid pairs of defense. This is a really deep, impressive team.
Yeah, I mean, these guys scoring across all 4 lines, scoring on the blue line, as proof with Ludke right there.
That goal goes in the book. Ludke from Jungles and Sweeney. More importantly, they scored it before the 4-on-4 ended. That means that they have a power play opportunity here. Scoring chance there from Jungles. Big save by Grant, and play continues after the stoppage. Still 32 seconds left to go. Kind of a mini power play, if you will, for Paul Ranheim and Team Southwest.
Yeah, I mean, just, again, starting to find their game here a little bit. This is the highest scoring team in this league. Great power play and talent up and down the roster.
Brose is in the face-off circle. He wins the draw back to the point. Over to Doctor. Doctor plays it near wall. Gathered up by Brose. Brose plays it back to Doctor. Over to Brose. Brose down low behind the end wall. The end line to Pitlick. Pitlick back to Brose. Brose. Pitlick. Top corner. 3-2. Southwest leads.
And there's Pitlick. I mean, he's been one of the best guys out here today.
He's on the NHL watch list. He's expected to be drafted this upcoming season. He takes that pass from Tristan Brose. Brose just a 10th grader. Brose is the same age as the younger players wearing Team USA. It's a real impressive shift there. They have 2 goals in rapid succession. Mark, they once trailed 2-0. Team Southwest is up 3-2. They now have control of this game.
Now, that's what you see in this league, is no lead is safe. Regardless of you're playing, anybody can beat anybody. Anybody's, you know, all these teams have got big time players with quick strike ability.
Our between period host, Grant Doctor, also credited with an assist. Doctor gets an assist. Brose with the setup. Pitlick with that thin mince goal makes this one 3-2. And there's new life in the building. Partisan crowd, obviously. We've got some people here following the Stars and Stripes, but more people here really rooting for Team Southwest. And Mark, I think the vibe of this whole visit for the NTDP is a real good showing for the Upper Midwest High School Elite League. These are regional all-star teams. It's not even an all-star team across the entire state of Minnesota. And they're giving the NTDP some great games. So far, the NTDP has won games against USHL teams. They've won fairly easily against some NAHL teams. And they're getting their best competition of the year thus far from high school kids from just the southwest suburbs of Minneapolis.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, and this is what's expected. I mean, these guys, you know, over on that bench, you've got a handful of guys that were on a state championship team. You've got coaches over there that combined have got more than 1,000 games as players in the NHL. They know what it takes. They know what it takes to help get these guys to the next level.
It's interesting, the NTDP, they have a great model as well for what they're doing. These kids are expected to play NCAA Division I teams next year. Case in point, the 2001 birth year players, they played University of Michigan and University of Minnesota, splitting those two games. Those are Big Ten teams, and they're giving up, in many cases, you know, 4 or 5, sometimes maybe even 6 years to some of the older players playing college hockey. Nevers takes a breakout pass and brings it through the neutral zone. He's got Olmscheid trailing, chooses the shot option. This one goes just wide. They try to establish their forecheck, but the puck turns over. Reiners, his pass doesn't quite connect. Latch enters the zone, but they whistle him down offside. 5:17 to go in the second period. Team Southwest leads 3-2.
And Paul Ranheim and Mike Craig, they've got to be happy with this response. You know, really what they'd hoped for and what they'd expected out of their guys.
Somebody said that we may have our viewership dip when the Vikings start playing. But, Mark, I know I'd want to watch this any day. It looked like it may be a disappointing run for Team Southwest when they fell down 2-0, and they really had a paucity, a dearth of scoring chances in the first period. But second period's been a different story. They've turned the tables 3 straight. They now lead 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, again, you've got, in this league, the best 16, 17, and 18-year-old hockey players, high school hockey players in the country, they play in this league.
Shot steered aside by Huber. Huber goes to Holy Family High School. It's a Catholic school that also serves the southwest suburbs. And Huber is really having a good elite league season as well. Very nice that Paul Ranheim's able to work both goaltenders in, get them this type of exposure. And they split this one right down the middle. Huber entering midpoint of the second period. So we've got 4:44 to go in period 2. Southwest has scored 3 straight. They now lead 3-2. We've got Sydney Henches on the camera. Joe Henches is our producer. Mark Mackesy, board member from the Upper Midwest High School Elite League, doing a great job with commentary. And I'm John Conley here for Watching Puck. Strand throws this one down into his own end for a regroup. It's actually straight on goal, and it's played by Grannon. Couple nice breakout passes, and it's now Slaggert entering the zone. Plays this one over far side to Beniers. Beniers' pass does not connect, but they do manage to maintain possession. They're attacking down, fighting a battle in the far corner. Beniers pops out with the puck. Pass doesn't quite connect, but it bounces back to his stick. Kelly's open on the point. Instead, they're ringing the bell. That one's a wrister from, can't tell for sure. I believe that was Strand. Yep, Strand hit the post there, causing a little bit of tinnitus. Great shift here for Team USA. However, it's broken out and the pass doesn't connect. O'Neill was trying to head man over to Lavelle. Good save here by Huber and a great job sweeping in. Lavelle manages to clear the puck out to the sidewall. Stretch pass a little bit too far. O'Neill goes icing waved off as it was tipped. Goaltender Grannon almost turned the puck over. Beniers. Mark, you've talked about 200-foot players. We've got 200-foot shift here.
Oh, yeah.
It's just back and forth from end wall to end wall.
End wall to end wall, and really impressed with Huber stepping in here midway through. He's made 5 or 6 really big saves, showing a lot of poise coming off the bench there.
I was just thinking how we would appreciate if it was more of a showcase weekend. Sometimes you see them grant an additional warm-up opportunity. He came in cold. Now it's going to be a power play for the Stars and Stripes. Delayed penalty upcoming. D over to Clevin. Clevin throws this one down to the wall. Stoppage of play. Slashing.
So, I mean, similar to what we saw yesterday, John, where USA got out and they were rolling. And yesterday the North team responded. Same thing with Southwest in the second period today.
It's Reiners that goes off. I like to break the game down in the periods down into segments. You talk about the first quarter of a period, first 5 minutes, how you're going to really set the tone. The last 5 minutes is very, very important. We've got 3 minutes to go in the period, 2-minute power play on the board. It would be massive if Southwest can find a way to escape this period without giving up a game-tying goal. They do a good job clearing the zone, and a little time runs off the clock. Team USA trying to find a way up ice. Sanderson, Dipsy Dangle, carrying the puck like it's on a yo-yo. Very impressive moves there. Takes it down and sets up in the corner. Huber with the glove. Face-off comes to his right. So it's interesting. We get a little connection here from Team USA to the goaltender Huber. Team USA has multiple teams. One of them was the U.S. Women's Olympic team. They won the gold. They were coached by Rob Stauber. Rob Stauber has a son, Jackson Stauber. He's college committed, I believe Mankato. But he's a former goaltender at Holy Family, where Huber is now scheduled to be their starting goaltender this fall. It's not like a lot less than 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon there, connecting those two. 2 minutes to go in the period, 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Still 70 seconds in the Stars and Stripe power play, but great possession play here. Boltman's got an opportunity to run a little bit of clock as he took that pass from Jungles. Then he plays a slow roller down into the corner. That allows all 3 of the other players to change. Boltman's now out with 3 sets of fresh legs, doing a great job here, running out this penalty. 45 seconds to go in the man advantage for Team Southwest. 45 seconds to go in the penalty kill. Stars and Stripes power play. Played back to the point, Sanderson. Sanderson tries a snapper, gets knocked down, and a bouncing puck. Boltman tried to clear it the length of the ice, but it only got out to the red line. 3-on-2 entering the zone is Smolonic. Smolonic's been outstanding today for Stars and Stripes. I think, Mark, you and I felt Bordelot was the top forward yesterday. I think I'm leaning towards Smolonic as being the biggest difference maker thus far.
Yeah, he's had a great game so far today. Big guy, goes hard to the net.
Daniel Latch on the point, plays this one to Berard. Berard takes it in, thinks the better of it, plays it back to Latch on the point. Both teams now full strength as the shot goes wide, and coming onto the ice is Bros. Southwest is now 5-on-5. Bros gets it out to the neutral zone, chips it ahead. Pitlick couldn't quite get his stick on that. We're into the final minute of the period. Successful penalty kill here for Team Southwest. That's huge, as they'd love to enter the intermission with a 3-2 lead. Pitlick stood up at the blue line by Clevin, but he got the pass off to Malmquist. Malmquist tried to tip it over to Bros, but Gallatin gets in the way and steals the puck. Smolonic cuts to his forehand, didn't miss by much. Huber ducked, and that one probably cleared the crossbar by only about 2 inches. Tripping, not called. Laval was pulling away from Cleveland, kind of got pulled down. Could have been a trip or a hook. They let play continue. Nice move here by Pitlick. Pitlick over to Bros. They just hooked up for the last goal. 10 seconds to go in the period. Final rush for Smolonic. 3-2 the score. He's looking to knot it up. Leaves it for Berard. 5, 4. Huber with the glove. We get a face-off. It's going to come with 2 seconds left in the period.
Well, what a change in momentum. And really, part of this I saw was the big hit at neutral ice by Josh Lidke, one of the smaller defensemen. And that kind of changed the momentum here. And Southwest seemed to wake up, and then he followed it up with a goal.
Mark, we've got just a moment to go before we get to the period break. Want to thank everybody for watching us and let you know we've got some good between period entertainment. Gracie Nelson is our host as she interviews from McCoy's Public House. Liam Malmquist for Team Southwest. Liam Malmquist answering all the tough questions posed by Gracie Nelson. And we'll follow that one up with part 2 of a 2-part segment, talking hockey movies and the next great hockey film. John Montague was my guest not too long ago at Punch Bowl Social. John Montague and I talking about hockey movies, which ones were great and what's the next great one going to look like. We'll get to that in just a moment. Period ends. We're going to take a quick break of about 12-15 minutes. Got Mark Mackesy on expert commentary. I'm John Conley. We'll be right back.
All right, John Conley here from Punch Bowl Social in St. Louis Park with John Montague. Part 2 of our feature of Way of the
Hi, I'm
Warriors.
here at McCoy's with number 7 in Palmer, Liam Malmquist. Liam, how are you today?
Good. So tell us just real quickly what you're working on, and then I'll ask you a few more questions.
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So let's start with 2 lies and a truth.
All right.
Tell me a little about yourself.
All right. I can solve a Rubik's Cube underwater in 30 seconds. I was born in San Francisco, California, and I'm second cousins with Honors Lee.
Sweet. All right. I'm going to have to think on that because those are hard ones, but we'll come back. All right. Can you tell me a little bit about your favorite place or a place that you want to travel to someday?
Yeah. I've always wanted to travel to Fiji. I always like the water, and yeah.
What activities would you do there? Surf, swim?
Big swimmer. My
Big swimmer.
mom loves a swimmer.
Favorite stroke? Freestyle guy?
Good. I'll get back to you on that one.
All right, so locker room music. I hear that's big for you boys. Is there anything that gets you pumped up before a big game?
Rap for sure for me.
Favorite song?
I'm rolling with Gunna right now, so probably OK. It's on his new album.
Can you give me a little clip
Yeah,
of that?
it goes, oh, OK, out of my wrist, kind of spin it, out of the coupe, and then
Sweet.
something
Love
like
it,
that,
love
something
it.
like that.
Okay, so ladies, do we have a celebrity crush?
We got a couple, but one that comes to mind, Alex Morgan, USA Soccer.
Ooh, big soccer guy.
Big soccer guy.
Big soccer guy.
Yeah.
All right, so best thing about the Edina girls?
I don't know. Some of them are a little weird, but definitely super supportive of the athletes there. So that's nice about them.
Awesome. All right, so do you have like a pickup line that you'd use on some hockey super fans in the stands? Or just a little wave and wink?
Big wave and wink guy.
Big wave and wink guy. All right, so we're gonna go to break. All right, we're back at McCoy's with Liam Malmquist, number 7. All right, so let's go back to our 2 lies and a truth. Can we recap on that?
Yeah, so I can solve a Rubik's Cube in 30 seconds underwater. I was born in San Francisco, California, and I'm second cousins with Honors Lee.
All right, so I never knew they were related to anyone cool like that, so I'm going to have to go with that one as a lie.
All right.
And the Rubik's Cube, I feel like it's kind of hard to be coordinated underwater, so I'm going to say the true one is the, help me.
San Francisco.
San Francisco, from San Francisco.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, well, thanks for talking to me today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That's a wrap.
It's a feature film about Minnesota high school hockey. You know, it's a story about how a family and a team and a community come together in a time of crisis, and it's just your awesome, classic America Cinderella story that all centers around hockey.
So we talked a little bit last interview about Avoid, family-friendly, great hockey movie, and mentioned your background as a screenwriter, and now you're taking approach, might be a novel approach in some people's eyes, using crowdfunding to raise the money necessary for the production costs. So let's talk about crowdfunding as a financing source for a feature film.
Yeah, I was lucky that another Minnesotan, Eric Stolhansky, who made the film Super Troopers 2, offered some good advice about the success that they had crowdfunding for their film Super Troopers 2, which is a great movie. But for us, we have other sources, money that's coming to the project from the producers, from some tax incentives and some investors and other sources. But this is a way to supplement our budget, and more than anything, too, it's a way that we can let other people get involved with the movie.
So, yeah, let's talk about that. But before, I don't want to let this go. We talked in part 1 about some great hockey movies. I left out Super Troopers 2. Rob Lowe's character had a hockey background. Now he's the mayor of the town. So you mentioned the ability to be a part of this project. So when we watch the trailer and hear you talk about it, it's clear that the plot in the script has an underdog story. It's northern Minnesota having to compete against larger populations around the Twin Cities in a high school sporting event. So clearly there's an underdog story. But I think off script there's one as well. And it's the ability for someone to be a part of this crowdfunding, the underdog story, the little engine that could, if you will, and you guys are making progress, raising money for this. So talk about what someone who's contributing is able to get. I know there's some wonderful benefits to being a part of that sourcing.
Yeah, we didn't just want to hold out the hat and ask for people to contribute money without giving something really cool in return. So, at the lower levels, people can get a digital download of the movie as it comes out, advanced tickets to the film, everything else. But, we really made this fun, and we said, look, for certain levels of contributions, you can be in the crowd as a fan. You can be out on the ice as a member of one of the opposing teams. You can even be a member of our Warriors team. We've got roles to be out on the ice in our pond hockey game with the Legends versus the boys. We have opportunities for people to be one of the members of the team's kind of friends and family and be in some of the key scenes in the locker room and at the team's big spaghetti dinner. So, it's ways for people that share our passion for the game of hockey, share our passion for film and making a great film, and letting those people actually get involved just like we are.
So unlike maybe following the making of a story that you want to see into a film and reading little snippets online from Variety or whatever magazines cover that, you're actually able to be a part of the progress and maybe be a part of the filming of the movie. And I think that's neat. A real opportunity there for people that are interested in being a part of the crowdfunding for Way of the Warriors. So I think that's terrific. Now, as we look at timeline, we're in the midst of early stages 60-day window where people can be a part of the Indiegogo project. But why don't you give us some other key dates and let us know, where and when you're going to be making Way of the Warriors.
Well, the funding campaign is going to go on right through Thanksgiving weekend. So please, everybody, and the sooner the better, go to Indiegogo.com and contribute whatever you can to help us, get closer to our goal. But the campaign ends at the end of Thanksgiving weekend, and then we go right into pre-production. And we'll be in pre-production from the beginning of December out through the end of January. And then production on the movie starts in February of 2019. So it's coming soon.
Yeah, real soon. So the movie is set in Minnesota, and what about a filming venue, and where will that take place?
It's all going to be shot on location up around the Iron Range. So our fictional team, the Warriors, is from Eveleth. So the family is there, the high school, everything around Eveleth. But we've incorporated locations all throughout the range: Virginia, Hibbing, Chisholm, Grand Rapids. That whole region up there. This is not a tribute just to the town of Eveleth, which a lot of people regard as the home of hockey. It's a tribute to Warroad, Hockey Town, USA. It's a tribute to Rosso. It's a tribute to great hockey towns all over the country.
That's great. So why don't we close with maybe getting an understanding of what the goal allows you to do. And then I've seen you in other interviews talk about a stretch goal. And if you're able to exceed the goal and hit some other targets, what does that enable you to do as a filmmaker?
Well, it's going to be really fun. If we hit our minimum goal, that's the number that our producers told us they need to make a really great quality film without cutting any corners. A film that we'll all be very proud of.
So we're not talking Blair Witch here.
No. We're talking about a great movie. The production value is going to be as high as we'd ever want it to be, so that the film can stand the test of time. From now until we're all long gone, we want this film to be entertaining audiences for many, many years. So that's the budget that we've set is kind of the bottom first goal. But our stretch goal is going to enable us to hire some great actors. And I don't think that's critical for us to make a great movie. But as you know, great actors get you bigger distribution. And the more distribution you get, the more people are going to see the film. And at the end of the day, that's our goal. So we've been fortunate that right now we have some really big name actors that want to make this movie. So now it's up to us to be able to afford to bring them in. And that's what that stretch goal is all about.
Well, that's fantastic. So Indiegogo is the website, or they can go to your film website. Why don't you give us that address one more time? Tell people what they'll find there, and then we'll wrap it up here from Punch Bowl.
Our main website is wayofthewarriorsfilm.com.
Wayofthewarriorsfilm.com. There's an S in Warriors. And there, what will I find? I know you mentioned there were some YouTube clips. What will I be able to see?
You'll see everything. You'll get direct links to our crowdfunding page from there. You can go to our YouTube channel and see all the videos that we've got up, including our trailer. We've had this great I Am a Warrior campaign that's been going on. We've been getting videos from people like Micah Ruzioni and all kinds of NHL players are sending them in. It's been awesome. You'll be able to see that. And you also can get access to, we've been recording some original music just for this film that I'm personally very proud of, and I'd love for people to go check out the music that we've been recording as well, to see that this film is going to be incredible, not only from the story, but from the music and everything that's going to come together to make this a hockey film that we'll all be very proud of.
Well, John Montague here with John Connolly. John, I want to thank you for your time. And John, I also want to let you know, I am a warrior.
You are a warrior.
Thanks.
We are back. John Connolly with Mark Mackesy. Our producer is Joe Henches. Our camera lady is Sydney Henches, bringing you today's game between the Upper Midwest High School Elite League Team Southwest. They lead 3-2 over Stars and Stripes National Team Development Program U17. Mark, any thoughts about what to expect in this third period?
Well, I mean, this is going to be as good as it gets right here. You've got two great teams out here. It's a one-goal game. There's obviously a lot of pride on both sides. This is going to be a dogfight to the finish.
We have a great crowd in the house. I had a chance between periods talk to the coaching staff from Minnetonka High. They're here checking up on some of their players. As we mentioned, turnover, and it's a near goal. Whipping it toward the goal is Streeter. Streeter, one of those Minnetonka High School players. And a lot of kids here that are going to be playing on just two high schools, 6 from Edina, 6 from Minnetonka this winter. So we've got a regionally based, just the Southwest Suburbs all-star team, and they've got a lead over the national team with a period to go. Bros calls for the stretch pass. It's onto the tape. Bros denied. Beautiful pass there. I think he took that pass from Litke.
Yeah, Litke just making plays all over the ice. He's big hit, a goal, and now an unbelievable stretch pass from behind his goal line.
And that was Kirk Cousins, like delivering it right on the spot. Came in flat. He caught it no problem. Nice hands there by Bros. But, geez, that would have really opened things up as they lead by a goal, and that would have doubled the margin.
Well, that was really, this weekend, that's the first, if you want to call it, odd man rush or sort of lone break opportunity that Team USA's given up.
Olmscheid steps into the face-off circle. Face-off controlled, however, by the Stars and Stripes, and a nice pass out to the neutral zone. Smolonic, he's been very active today. He gets this to Latch, Tanner Latch. His shot doesn't miss by much. Bayless is all by himself. He's waiting for some reinforcements. Fires a shot that just goes wide on a 1-on-3 rush. Out to the neutral zone. Doctor plays this one down along the near corner and grabbed by Faber, who works a little D-to-D action. Out to the neutral zone. Stars and Stripes lose the puck, however. Doctor with a pass up ahead to Bayless. Bayless hits Olmscheid. Olmscheid throws a slow roller down in the corner. It's Mason Nevers that gets there. He forces Noah Grannon to push the puck away. And nice exit. They snap it up to Tanner Latch, but it bounces off his stick. And here comes Nevers down into the corner. Nevers out with Lagerbach. Lagerbach over to Olmscheid. Lagerbach. Nice evasive move down along the end wall. Counter move. He fights through. He's kind of a bull in the china shop. He's a great net front presence, and we get a stoppage of play. The net gets knocked off its position.
Good start for Team Southwest. Rolling 4 lines. We're going to see fresh legs the rest of the way for them, and obviously for Team USA. So both teams should be fresh and strong to the finish here.
Got a funny story. I don't know if I'll get to finish it, but I'll try to tell it in parts. Teddy Lagerbach, he wears 24. He's a ginger. He's got bright red hair. He had a great sophomore season for Minnetonka. We'll pick up that story where I left off, but a great story as I talked to his coach between periods. Down in the corner, 17 minutes, 30 seconds remains. US NTDP had a 2-0 lead. They now trail 3-2. They do have the better in the shot count through 2 periods. It shows 25-14, so they are getting some pucks to net, but they do trail by 1. Entering the zone is Berard. Berard pulls up along the wall, and he gets bodied off the puck by Boltman. Sanderson's pass doesn't connect. Picked up, and we're working the other direction. Here comes Lagerbach. Lagerbach with an ipsy dangle. He gets around the defender and hits a goal. Hits a defender skate in front of the goal mouth and cleared aside at the last moment. Noah Grannon caught a break there as the Southwest players couldn't quite get a stick on it to knock it into the goal.
Yeah, I don't think the U.S. defense was expecting Lagerbach to try that move, and it actually worked.
I think it worked because of how he slowed the play down. It looked like he was waiting for line mates. And what he was really doing was slow rolling the defender. And it's perfect because that story I want to tell about Teddy Lagerbach actually involves slow roll Teddy. And we'll get to that one throughout the 3rd period. Puck is controlled. Danny in the corner. Danny tries to play this one over to Strand. Strand fights a battle with Jungles. Jungles chips it over a little too far for Doctor. The puck pops out, and here's Dylan Peterson. Peterson plays it over the far side. Danny, top corner. Danny buries this one. We are tied.
Well, John, that's just another example of Team USA and their ability to finish in tight. Most of their goals have come in and around that area, and guys with pucks on their sticks and just burying it.
His name is Daniel Janiev. Believe it or not, Janiev starts with a silent D. Double D is a player out of Brooklyn, New York. I first saw Danny. He came down a couple years in a row in Pee Wee's for a Memorial Day tournament in Florida. And we had a good 3rd period lead once, and then Danny showed up. So he's a lethal player. He doesn't need a lot of daylight. Example right there. 5'4", 125 pounds, but he just scored the biggest goal of the game, and that has us tied at 3. Boltman's pass hits Jungles in the torso, and Jungles is a little bit injured. He's trying to catch his breath. Tripping the call that puts Southwest on the power play. Tanner Latch goes off for tripping. 16-14 left in a newly tied game. Southwest on the power play.
And Southwest back at it here with that lethal power play. We've seen it today. Big opportunity for them to grab the lead back.
So let me try to spit out some of this Teddy Lagerbach story. So during the season last year, he's a sophomore on the varsity, and the person who announces the players for warm-ups, for the introduction, says he doesn't like it if they don't skate out hard to the blue line. So Sean Goldsworthy, coach of Minnetonka, says we had a practice where we showed the kids 3 hard strides, post out to the blue line. I'll pick this one up next stoppage of play. Throwing the length of the ice, good way for Stars and Stripes to kill 15-20 seconds off the penalty. Litke picks it up behind goal and brings it up the middle. He looks off Bros, chooses to carry it himself, gains the attacking zone. He cuts through toward the net and gets a shot off right as he gets knocked off his feet. And chance for Stars and Stripes to clear the puck. We're going to get a repeat. This one comes down, steered aside by Huber. Huber leaves it for Boltman. Litke took the last rush. This time it's Jake Boltman. Boltman with a stretch pass onto the tape. Beautiful pass there to Pitlick. Pitlick loses the puck momentarily. Hits an overlapping Josh Litke. Litke plays it into the near corner. We got a little blind spot. We don't see that spot too well from where we're standing. Streeter over to Pitlick. Pitlick fakes the stuff move and plays it over to Bros. Now it's Pitlick back to Bros. Bros to Boltman. Boltman, near side. This is Litke. Litke fakes the shot, hits Sweeney and gets knocked down. Chance for Stars and Stripes to enter the zone with a 2-on-1. Tuck stood up beautifully by Boltman. Boltman transitioned the other way up ahead to Litke. Litke's got Boltman trailing, plays that option and takes down into the corner. Back to Litke with a shot off the side of the goal. Streeter overskates the puck, and it's an opportunity for Team USA to clear it. Tuck hits Boltman right as Boltman gets rocked, right as the puck came into his mitt. He did manage to hold the zone, however. Not a surprise that he's playing receiver for that Edina football team. Still 20 seconds to go in this man advantage. Reiners throws it down to the end wall. Clevens cycles behind the goal and plays it out, stretch pass to Strand. Broken up nicely by Doctor. Penalty is going to expire in 5 seconds. Olmscheid enters the zone, and Stars and Stripes do a great job. They scored a goal to tie it. They took a penalty, but quickly killed it, and we're back to 5-on-5, both teams full strength. Bayless centers the puck. Net front presence by 2 players for Southwest. Nevers takes a crack at it, but nice save there. Granite keeps this one tied at 3.
Hey, John, one of the guys I haven't seen out here, and I don't know if there was an injury earlier, is Michael Vorlicki, one of the top defensemen on the Southwest team. We just cycled through a power play, and would have expected to see him out there, so hopefully he's okay.
We'll keep an eye. It has been a while since we've seen Vorlicki on the ice. Play continues. 14 minutes to go in this one. 2-on-1 rush. It's Smolonic in front of the goal, and Huber manages to play the shooter and makes a huge save there. Snapper from Berard was tracking toward that near high corner. Bayless throws this one out in front of the goal, but a little bit too far for his line mate. Southwest keeps the puck in, however, and it's a shot from the blue line. This one gets saved by Granite. So let me get back to the story. So the public address announcer says, I don't like it when the kids slowly skate out to the blue line. They need them to skate hard. Coach holds practice. They take 3 fast strides and they coast out. So then the seniors tell the sophomore, hey, this is what you need to do. So during a game, they're on the road against Benilde St. Margaret's. Lagerbach's in the starting lineup, not used to starting, and he actually skates with very little effort, as slow as he could out to the blue line. Fast forward to the state tournament. This is a big, big, big event when you qualify for the state tournament, and that's where they actually film those videos for the hockey hair video, those clips, and he slow rolls it out there at the state tournament level. Turnover, Bayless all alone, short. Oh, it was an even strength scoring opportunity. Bayless stood up by Grant and picked that one off on a D-to-D pass, goes in on a breakaway. Huge save there. Granite manages to keep this one knotted at 3.
Yeah, Bayless, I mean, he's getting stronger as this game goes on. He's got great speed, great scoring chance by him.
So to finish the story, Lagerbach slow rolls it out during the state tournament. Everybody's like, what's up with this kid? He doesn't skate out to the blue line. He's kind of being a jerk. Sean Goldsworthy is on a flight this week wearing his Minnetonka jacket. Somebody says, do you live in Minnetonka? He says, yes, I do. He says, what's up with that guy that skated out to the blue line super slow? He says, oh, you have no idea. The guy says, why do you know? He says, I'm his coach. So the story, the legend of legendary Teddy Lagerbach, it lives on outside of the Minnesota borders. He's known far and wide for 2 things. He's the guy that had the biggest goal in school history that propelled them into overtime in the section final against Holy Family. And he's also known as Slow Roll Teddy, bringing it out slow to the line for introductions during the state tournament last year. 12 minutes, 30 seconds remains in this game. We are tied. Last year, a tied game went to overtime, Mark. Any idea what will happen if they end this one regulation tied?
Well, I think we'll see a bit of overtime, and then we could see a shootout.
Laval gets around the defender and gets a shot toward the goal. Nicely saved by Granite, but it looks like Granite's got to go back and get his stick. He can do it as Stars and Stripes manage to gain the neutral zone. Powell's pass plays this one over to Kelly. Kelly's pass does not connect, and it's stolen by Team Southwest. Bordelot throws it over to Boltman. Boltman's pass onto the stick of Tuck, however, and Tuck gets a shot off, and a bouncing puck right through the slot. They just couldn't quite get their hands on it. This one hits the defender, and Huber's very fortunate it didn't go in. It hit Doctor's skate.
Great stick by Doctor there, breaking that one up.
This one's kept in by O'Neill. He plays it down to the end walls. Stuff opportunity. Oh, it's a point-blank scoring chance. Backdoor. Banging into the back of the net. O'Neill from St. Thomas Academy puts Southwest on top, 4-3.
It's been a great line all day for Southwest. And that's typical Ryan O'Neill. Right place at the right time, knows what to do with the puck. That's why he's getting looks.
In case you just joined us, Mark told a story earlier about the selection process. A little bit more than half of the players might be invited into the Elite League teams. The rest go through a tryout process, and they're not trying out to be a fill-in scrub on these teams. Leading scorer Liam Malmquist for the entire league. He's out there now, 17. And Ryan O'Neill, number 12, who just scored that last goal to put Southwest on top. 2 examples of players that came through that Elite League tryout process. That one goes in the books. O'Neill from Lagerbach and Lavelle. O'Neill from Lagerbach and Lavelle. And Southwest now leads 4-3. Charchenko plays this one D-to-D to Reiners. We'll keep an eye to see if Vorlicki returns, but I don't even see a number 20 over on the benchmark. It looks like he may have left the game.
No, and this is, I mean, obviously to lose Vorlicki, and it looked like they lost him early on in the game, to play with this effort, to put 4 on the board. He's their top scoring defenseman. Outstanding effort by the rest of the guys.
Yeah, you know, you can never overcome the loss of a player super easily, but the other 5 defensemen outstanding, and they're proving it today, as Vorlicki is not on the bench. They're short 1 player, and we'll see if we can get an update on why Mike Vorlicki has left today's game. Nonetheless, his Team Southwest teammates have this one 4-3 in their favor. Team USA coming up on the midpoint of the final period, and they have a rare opportunity where they're trailing. They've won most of their games this season. Bounces over Malmquist's stick, and it's picked up by Tyler Clevin. Clevin cuts to his forehand, and a shot. Big save. Huber on the spot.
Now, Huber,
that
I mean,
one up.
He's been great since coming in midway through against this level of competition. He's been outstanding. A lot of poise. Great job of controlling the rebound there.
You mentioned coming in cold. He warmed up at the beginning of the game, but entered the second period just after the 10-minute mark. So Huber's been great. He's only allowed 1 of the 3 goals, and both goalies combining for a save percentage of around 90% or so, as Team USA has had more than 30 shots on goal to this point. Straighter over to Litke. Litke pulls the trigger, and second time's a charm, but it goes just wide. Litke's very, very, very active this period, trying to get up in the play offensively. Doctor takes a shot. This one goes up into the back glass. Kept in by Team USA. Big save there, and you've got that's Sanderson, Jake Sanderson, really getting rough down low, knocking Bros out of that area around goaltender Granite.
Yeah, and Litke, again, making plays out here, doing a little bit of everything for Team Southwest today.
No penalties assessed. The linesman just escorts Bros to the bench, make sure that everything's fine. Want to thank everybody for watching today. We've had a great viewership this weekend for these Upper Midwest High School Elite games, and we've had very, very spirited, strong performances from the 3 teams, USA and the 2 Southwest and North teams from the Elite League. They tell the story. We just get to be a part of it. And I've really enjoyed seeing such high-level hockey here from New Hope. Overlap pass doesn't quite connect. It gives Team Southwest an opportunity to break the puck out of the zone. They don't, however, and here's Beniers. Beniers, his shot gets deflected. Back to Sanderson. Sanderson, oh my gosh, Sanderson fanned on the pass. Then Pitlick tried to headman the puck a little bit too far for Streeter, and they didn't quite connect. That would have been a great scoring chance in transition. Here comes Slaggert. Slaggert, strong all the way to the goal, trying to work his way against Litke. Litke and Doctor, they're outstanding players. They are truly elite players, but Mark, that's a small defensive pair. Very impressive that they're able to withstand the pressure from these larger forwards on the national team.
Yeah, those guys, both great feet, see the ice well, move the puck well, and compete hard.
Litke snaps this one off the glass, trying to get it out to Pitlick. It's actually Pitlick that gets there first. Ty Rayson kind of fights with Gallatin for the puck. Gallatin's breakout pass up to the neutral zone. Here comes Bordelot. They whistle down offside. I believe it's Smilanic. Could have been tucked. One of them gets in just ahead of the play.
Well, I mean, here we go. I mean, this is what we expected all weekend. This is as good as it gets. Down at about 8 minutes to go, we've got a 1-goal game. 2 great teams battling it out here.
8.5 minutes to go on the clock. Olmscheid steps into the face-off circle. He looks across at Thomas Bordelot. Bordelot with a clean win back to Powell. Powell plays this one D-to-D over to Gallatin, and he enters the zone. Takes it down to the end wall where it's picked up by a forechecking Luke Tuck. Charchenko tries to bring this one out in front of the goal, and it winds up on Tuck's stick just a bit wide. Would have been a devastating turnover there. Nevers on the right side. He lofts this one down into the corner, and he's on pursuit. Nevers is a Minnesota commit. Big hit down along the end wall. And Nevers, I think, has the distinction of being the first University of Minnesota commit lined up by new coach Bob Motzko. Kept in at the blue line just barely by Latch. Top corner, we're tied. Daniel Latch, snapper, and the water bottle goes flying.
Well, and I mean, just again, a game of inches. That puck barely stayed in. Another 6 inches, and that's out.
Joe Hench is doing an expert job here providing us with some replays. That was a beautiful goal with the defenseman from Team USA picking up a puck right as it was leaving the zone. Big snapper up in that top corner, and I think that's a good example of the benefits of being a part of the national team. This team trains nonstop for 2 years. They're also a part of a pool of players that are evaluated really the year leading up to the team being selected. And they're told, when you go home and play for your other teams, we want you to work on certain things. We've seen a propensity for those defensemen to get up involved in the play, but Mark, it always seems to be at the right time. These USA players, they're quick to get up involved in the play, but they never seem to give up numbers going the other direction. They're very, very judicious about how they get up involved in the play.
Yeah, it's like a fourth forward. I mean, obviously, guys that are big, fast, talented, and that can score.
4-4 is your score. 7 minutes and 10 seconds to go in this game. Southwest has the zone, but they've lost possession. Out comes Connor Kelly. He headmans the puck up ahead, and a big hit in front of the boards. Yoder delivering the heat. Here comes O'Neill. O'Neill's got Laval. Chooses to, oh, it's a hook. No call. Lagerbach couldn't break free. His stick was pinned. I thought I saw Berard with a hook there, but the pass was certainly delivered. Now it's a steal from Lagerbach. He plays O'Neill. O'Neill's got the pass or shot option. He tries the deke option and work for a better shot. Gets knocked off the play. Upcoming penalty here, tripping the call. Lagerbach eventually draws the minor penalty, and that puts Southwest on a much-needed power play. Just 6:37 remains as Peterson goes off.
Yeah, Lagerbach and O'Neill just making great things happen that last shift, and O'Neill drawing the penalty.
6:37 to go. This is a part of the game. We're coming up on that final 5 minutes, the final session, where if you fall behind, there's less and less time to come back. If you give up a goal and out goes some of the bulbs, that one hits the scoreboard. You know, when you give up a goal in the first, second period, you think, hey, you know, we can come back. Today's game's a good example. They trailed 2-0. Next 3 goals scored by Team Southwest. They can come back. At this point, if you give up a goal, harder and harder to come back. Glockner's back in. Glockner back in for Team Southwest. They play this one to Litke. Litke gains the red, gains the blue, tries to get around the defender, but loses the puck in the process. Here comes Sweeney. Power play has 90 seconds to go. Kept in front of the benches by Jungles. Jungles plays this one over. Nicely played over to Malmquist as they're doing a great job of maintaining the zone. Now they're finally able to open up some passing lines. A lot of Edina players out there as we've got Boltman on the point. He's joined by Litke from Minnetonka. Team USA, however, does manage to push it out to neutral. Litke plays Boltman. Boltman, Litke. Litke over to Sweeney. Sweeney loses the puck, however, as he runs into one of the American players in the neutral zone. Litke up to Malmquist. Malmquist, the leading scorer in the Elite League. Spin move along the boards. And Litke plays D-to-D. This is a ringing shot that Clevin gets a hold of. Clevin fires this one all the way down, and Glockner plays this one behind the goal. He leaves it. Now it's Charchenko that's out. Defense switched up, but the forwards did not. Streeter with a shot that goes just wide. Now they have changed the forwards. It's Bros out there with Streeter and Pitlick. One of the things we saw yesterday, Mark, we have hit the final 5-minute mark, folks, 5 minutes. One of the things we saw yesterday, Team North, which is pulled from 3 high schools around Duluth and a couple stragglers, Team North didn't have a lot of depth or balance with their scoring and really relied heavily on 2 lines as it got to the latter part and they were trying to get back. We have not seen Coach Paul Ranheim overload at all. He just seems to be rolling 4 lines.
Yeah, they've got scoring on all 4 lines. They've got scoring on the blue line, and unfortunately it looks like they've lost Borlicki, which takes out another gun, but any line can score and several other defensemen.
Peterson returns. Both teams are now full strength, and it's a sneaky little pass over to Bros that just misses. Penalty upcoming on Team Southwest. Truscott, Peterson. They've got the extra attacker out there. The net gets budged. Glockner desperately trying to get his mitt on that one. So I just mentioned it's a time of game where if you give up a goal, it's not a lot of time to get back. Southwest now goes on the penalty kill. It's 4-4 with 4:09 to go. If they give up one now, there's not a lot of time left for them to get the equalizer. It'll be interesting to see what happens on this Stars and Stripes power play.
Yeah, see if either team takes a timeout here to set up strategy.
Both teams yesterday using 2 timeouts. We haven't had any called yet today. Coach Paul Ranheim decides not to opt for the timeout. Nice play here, the face-off win, and then Nevers clears it. Grannon plays it behind his goal. That's going to run off at least 20 seconds off of the 2 minutes that just went up on the board. Slashing the call. That one goes against Charchenko. And now the momentum's interrupted by an offside call. It's interesting. I was thinking how little we've seen Danny Zhaniev in this game. He got out for a shift and he scored. I don't remember seeing him out there since.
Yeah. No, they, it's sort of going to go with the guys that are rolling, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't see him out much in the first period either, and I'd be interested. There's some software that the coaching staff and the video staff of the NTDP has. I'm sure they could, tell us privately what the ice time breakdown is for this game. It's interesting to me that the player who has such a big impact scoring that 3rd goal to tie it up has not seemed to have been out much. Let's hope he's not injured. We have a feeling Vorlicki might have been dinged up a little, as it's been a while since we've seen him for Southwest. Nevers can't quite get this one past Faber. It's now on Benier's stick. Litke, Slaggert. Slaggert reels it in and chips it down into the corner. This is Beniers. Beniers to Smolonic, and Team USA takes a 5-4 lead.
Yeah, not much Glockner could do on that one. It's Smolonic, that net front presence, puck on a stick, and he just finishes.
Smolonic from Beniers is my unofficial count. 59 from 45. And now we get a timeout called, I believe. We got a whistle. I don't know. No timeout, but we do get a whistle. 3:06 remains. Southwest now trails. This is the first time they've trailed since early second period. Here comes Bordelot. Bordelot gains the red, gains the blue, chips it down into the corner, and he works against Doctor. Doctor leaves it for Olmscheid. Olmscheid can't quite get this puck away from Bordelot. So I didn't go anywhere, just wanted to make sure we heard the public address. It goes in the books as Smolonic from Beniers. Smolonic from Beniers, no second assist. Power play goal. Southwest now leads 5-4. Latch gets hauled down, no call. Nevers, nice evasive move. He buys a lot of time, allows the forwards to complete their line change, and he enters the zone 1-on-2. Gets a little help. Olmscheid now in the corner. Plays this one over toward Nevers. They're out there with Lagerbach. Team USA can't quite leave the zone first time. Second tries a charm, and they lose the puck, however. Here comes Charchenko. Charchenko gains the red line, throws this one down in the corner. Mark, we're into the final 2 minutes of this game. Southwest trailing 4-5.
And keep an eye on number 3 out there, Lidke.
The other person I'm going to keep an eye on is in goal, Charlie Glockner. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to get Glockner out. They trail 5-4 and will be going for an extra attacker if they get an opportunity. Shot and a huge save by Grannon. Nice rebound control, and then the defenseman pushed this off to the sidewall. Eventually, it's lofted out to the neutral zone. We're down to the final 80 seconds in this 5-4 game. Lavelle, stretch pass, plays this one into the slot. Nice pass there to O'Neill. Goaltender is out. 6 attackers. Oh, nice play here from O'Neill. O'Neill down in the corner. They enjoy the benefit of an extra skater as the goaltender has been pulled. Kept it at the blue line. Great play there by Litke. This is the final minute of the game, folks. Lagerback down into the corner. Lagerback. Kept in at the point by Reiners. 6-on-5 opportunity, chance to tie the game. Puck's down low, and the goalie gets a cover. Great save by Grannon. 46 seconds to go.
46 seconds to go. Great setup down there by Team Southwest. Great scoring chance. Nice save.
Looks like we got Joe Henches playing some replay. Appreciate that. We finally get our first timeout of the game. We've got 46.2 seconds to go. Team USA against Southwest from the Upper Midwest High School Elite League. Last year, Mark, there was a USA win, and the second one was a regulation tie that went to overtime before USA managed to win that one. This one yesterday, what was it, 3-2?
3-2.
3-2, and today we've got 5-4. I think it speaks to the level of Minnesota high school hockey. And it's very impressive that the Upper Midwest High School Elite League has this type of performance. This isn't one all-star team for all of Minnesota or all of the Upper Midwest. This is just one of 6 league teams that are pulled from different parts of Minnesota, with a few players from North Dakota, and then a 7th if you throw in Wisconsin. This is just one of 7 teams in the league, and they're standing toe-to-toe, just 1 goal down with 46 seconds to go against the national team. Play kept in at the point. Big shot from right defenseman Litke. Kept in. Now it's Doctor. Litke and Doctor with Lagerbach. That's 3 players from Minnetonka. We've got Jungles and O'Neill out there. And I think the last one is O'Neill. Interesting that you got such an embarrassment of riches over on that Southwest bench. You got some great players that didn't get their name called to close out this one. Litke. 15 seconds to go. Puck slow roller. This one's, it's going to go just wide of the mark. Icing the call. We're down to 9 seconds left for the exciting conclusion of today's game. Got a linesman talking to the referee. I'm not sure what they're talking about. They deem that it should not have been an icing call, and that leads to a face-off. This will go back in the southwest end. That should just about do it, Mark. That's a dagger to not have at least the zone for the last 9 seconds.
Yeah, I'd have to go 200 feet at this point in the game.
Beniers, Strand, Sanderson, Slaggert, and Faber are out for Team USA. You have a feeling just one face-off win here and the game will end. They lose the draw, however. It's lofted out to the neutral zone. Picking it up is Litke. 3-2-1. That'll do it, folks. From New Hope Arena, our camera operator, Sydney Henches, Joe Henches, our producer, on color commentary, Mark Mackesy. I'm John Conley. It's a sweep. 3-2 yesterday, 5-4 today for the U.S. National Team Development Program. Mark, any final thoughts about this visit from the NTDP as they had 2 games with North and Southwest from the Upper Midwest High School Elite League?
Well, it was just great hockey, and that's what's expected. When these guys come up here, this is a competitive time of the year for the kids in the Upper Midwest High School Elite League. They get fired up to play in this game. 2 really well played hockey games, well coached. well-coached teams out there. Great effort by both teams, and I'm sure everybody's looking forward to doing this all over again next year.
Wow, that was awesome. They've been here about 6 years. I think USA has a winning record in those games, but this is just a reminder that there's a very competitive game if they come to play teams from the Elite League. I know 2 years ago when it was the 2000s, they lost both their games to teams from the Elite League. Last year, there was a regulation tie that the NTDP won in overtime and a win that was about 5-1. This year, 3-2 and 5-4, 2 one-goal games. So always a good battle when these two teams get together. I expect them to be on the schedule for October 2019, like you mentioned. And really a tip of the cap to Minnesota, the state of hockey, the Minnesota community-based model, their high school season, which is about to kick up this winter, and the Upper Midwest High School Elite League's role in keeping top players at home and giving them an opportunity. Last thought goes to you. Tell us what's in store for the rest of the way before the Elite League ends. I know you've got some playoffs upcoming and then a big tournament the first weekend in November.
Yeah, so it really, I mean, it heats up now after this weekend. More games on the schedule. A big tournament at the end of the year, and then, of course, the playoffs, which those games get incredibly competitive. There's a lot of pride out there, and there's obviously an opportunity for these guys to show NHL scouts, college coaches, and USHL coaches what they can do in big moments.
Want to thank everybody for being with us here, watchingpuck.com. Sidney Henches, Joe Henches, Mark Mackesy, and John Conley signing off from New Hope Arena. Thanks for watching.